I'm going to begin, Sparta. This is your first feature-length movie. I mean, what was it like? Sort of, obviously, you've done shorts and kind of segments before, but how was it sort of stepping behind the lens and making your first movie?
Challenging. It was challenging. It's the first time. It's a lot of first times. It's the first time writing the arc of a feature film, writing 90 script page. It's the first time directing and editing. But I enjoyed it a lot. Luckily, it was a very enjoyable process.
Because I was wondering, tell me about sort of finding Victor for this. I mean, not only is a great dancer, but a great actor, but a great dancer. I mean, I mean, you're asking for quite specific things from this.
Yeah.
I mean, did it take a while to find your lead and to find your Lara?
Yes, it was very challenging. I mean, this film is based on someone that I got to know in 2009. And so I always imagined the film with her in my head, and then finding someone that could replace that image for a new one was very challenging. And I think we casted over a year and a half. We saw 500 young people through an open casting call, but didn't really find someone that could fit all the criteria that we had for the part. And then through dance casting, a group of young dancers came in to do a casting for the other dancers in the film, among which Victor. And I think both me and my team, we all were immediately drawn to him. This magnetic force that Victor had, and the way that Victor moved, this elegance, this discipline. It was extraordinary. It was a very magical, special moment because we had been looking for a lead for so long, and all of a sudden there was someone in the room that came very close to what we thought was needed. And then when I combined Victor with Adier, who plays the father in this film, there was an energy between them that was extraordinary.
Because I was reading that the casting was genderless, and I was just wondering, what do you think might have changed in this movie had you cast a female in the lead role? Do you think that would have changed anything about the film at all?
That depends on which female. I think it's Victor colored this part as much as I designed it. To say, I think Victor really gave birth to this part, and those movements, the way, those silences, the face, everything that's being translated through that face. I think Victor really portrayed Nora with such an extreme elegance and maturity that I can't imagine the film with anyone else but Victor.
I was wondering too, I mean, you've been touring the world with this film, obviously you're playing at Cannes and doing so many of the festivals. I mean, obviously when you make a movie, you make a film and you shoot it and you think it's all over, but in many ways the experience has been prolonged such a long time. Have you enjoyed this aspect of the filmmaking process, the touring, going to festivals and showing it to audiences around the world?
Yes, I mean, it's by presenting the film to different audiences and different people reacting and interacting with the film that the film is, in a way, has different lives, because every pair of eyes that watches this film comes from a different background, from a different culture, sometimes from a different environment. And so seeing them talk about the film or hearing them react to it teaches me something on me, on the film, but on society as well. And so it's a very interesting thing. Presenting this film in countries like Poland, Russia, Japan, it's been an overwhelming ride, because I've always believed that this film had the potential to reach a big audience, but seeing it become that big, seeing it go that far is very emotional and at the same time overwhelming.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, I think obviously just over the last however many years, I've noticed that we're becoming more aware of trans rights, and the conversation is becoming more prevalent in society. But there is still a lot to do. Are you hoping this film can just contribute to the conversation? Because I was reading quotes recently from Ellen Page, who was saying that trans people are still under attack, that they're still being dehumanised. I mean, it must be very important for you as a filmmaker to have a story with a character like Lara in the leading role.
Yeah, I think a big force of cinema is empathy, and I hope that this film is an example of that. And in a way, it was. We always intended to paint the portrait of someone that we got to know. I never intended to paint the portrait of a full community. So I think we always saw it as adding a story to the trans spectrum of stories. And so I hope that in the future, I hope that in the near future, we will get more trans stories to be told, so that we come to see the spectrum of trans experiences. And but yeah, if this film can mean something to someone, then I'd be very happy with that.
So I'm just wondering what's next for you. I mean, obviously you've made this movie that's been such a huge success. So people are sort of taking a keen eye on what you're going to be doing next. Are you quite nervous about the next challenge or excited about what's coming up?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I'm working on a new film, and I'm very excited about that film. And I'm ready to continue in a way. I'm ready to do something new and work on something new and then put it in the world again.
Are you allowed to talk about it yet, or is it too early?
Not yet, unfortunately.
No worries. Well, thank you so much for your time. Much
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey, you